published. And it's John F. Crane Corporation, or John F. Crane, C-R-A-N-E, and it's 4246 Pepper, as in salt pepper, as in pepper shaker, Pepper Drive, and that's San Diego, California, 92105.
Very good.
Is there Stephen Laverne, since I understand you have, John also published a 900-page book. I think it's about a 900-page book called the Polarity Research Manual. It's a very expensive book that goes into very, very detailed technical end of Rife's work in related areas, and perhaps Stephen Laverne may, because I understand they have both of these publications, if they might like to just add some information about what John Crane has done and about these two pieces of literature that I've referred to.
Yes, the Polarity book is definitely in our World Research Library and is available for researchers. In fact, we haven't really gotten in too much into the foundation itself. It does state, and again, as we mentioned earlier, John was an assistant for Rife and is responsible for saving the materials and making them available and preserving them up to this time. So really there's not too much more we can add to what you've said. The books, the materials are available and are housed now in a place that we feel are very safe, and we're proceeding along with validating this instrument.
Is it also true that I believe that he also was put in jail a number of years ago because for a few years as a result of his efforts in this area? Is that correct? Would you know that?
Did you get that information from him, or?
Yes, I did. Not in detail, but I thought perhaps you had some information to that effect. Just as a further area related to the whole problems that have occurred by people who've tried to pursue Rife's work.
Well, he had a great deal of problems in the latter part of his life. I didn't know that jail time was involved there.
Well, this was the assistant in reference to John F. Crane.
Oh, to Crane. No, I hadn't heard about that.
For the last 22 years with Rife.
Right.
The other thing I'd like to ask is, I think that's those were about the main points I wanted to raise on that. He would be very interesting to probably have on the air and talk to in reference to this whole matter. It might add an additional dimension to the situation, and I think the potential for perhaps dramatically extending the human lifespan using these kinds of principles, the kinds of knowledge that John relates in the Polarity Research Manual, are there, so that happens to be my interest.
I have a feeling, David, judging from the kind of reaction we're getting here tonight, that we will have to deal with Royal Rife and John Crane again, and we will.
Okay, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be on your show, and I wish it's a great pleasure. I wish we had the show in South Florida.
Well, thank you very much. I wish you did, too, and perhaps that'll happen one of these days. We have a number of affiliate stations down in Florida, and I thank you for going through the trouble you're going through to listen to us in Florida
Your
tonight.
show is worth it.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
That's always encouraging. It's 12 minutes of 11 o'clock on a Saturday. Stella. Hello, Stella.
Hello.
How are you?
Not too well.
Well, what can we do to brighten your day?
I just turned on my radio and I heard you speaking, and I think perhaps I'm not too much in what you are on for, but I heard you speak of a chronic pain, chronic illness. I have had a chronic illness since 68.
Mm-hmm.
I have had 2 surgeries for tic-tac-toe.
Well, Stella, what we were talking about was a technology that was developed 50 years ago that could probably get rid of all of that, and it has been hidden and stopped.
I have been listening, and I feel that I really am not, my talk was not about all the things that you are interested in speaking about, but I just heard that tic-tac-toe, that chronic pain, and I have tried everything, everywhere, every
I understand.
And everywhere for tic-tac-toe, which has left me with complete pain constantly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and perhaps had this work been able to surface as it should have been, that you wouldn't have to go through that right now. And that's what we're trying to bring to the attention of the public this evening. And thank you very much, Stella, for joining us. And
okay, I just heard the chronic pain, and I thought, there's maybe a doctor.
You knew what we were talking about.
No,
okay, hon.
I didn't know what you...
I mean, you understood what that was.
Yes, I did, and I was listening to all of it the whole time, and I hope it will help sometime. I have had surgery for cancer, but mine was very, very mild and very successful.
Well, let's hope that we can be successful in getting this out so that you wouldn't have to do that again.
My pigtail is something that there's been very little research.
Okay, hon, we're going to have to go, but thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much.
And, Bob, you're on.
Hi there, Bill. It's absolutely great show.
Thank you.
I have several interesting things. One of them is since the whole process of Royal Rife's involved frequency generation in the cure of disease, and he existed at the same time as Nikola Tesla, who was a frequency generator, and they meet. I wonder whether Steve knows.
Through one of our contacts, we were told, but again, we don't have any hard data on that, but these individuals all definitely knew of each other. And we find this fascinating. It's the same as George Lakhovsky and the multiple wave oscillator, and there was much talk that this was developed for him by Nikola Tesla, but we don't think that there's any question that Tesla was very aware of what Rife was doing.
It was in the latter days of Tesla, but though he wasn't so active, his mind was very active. Probably it was his most active period. Wouldn't it be great if we knew what was going through it at that period in time?
Now, I'm really curious as to whether a frequency generator exists that could currently exist right now that could do this kind of thing.
I think any frequency generator can do the same thing because, again, there were two separate instances. One is the microscope, the other one is a frequency generator, and a frequency generator, if it was attuned to the right frequency and had one or two other characteristics, would be able to do the same thing. The problem would be the frequencies that they had logged in their day based on their equipment would not necessarily be the exact frequency settings today, and that's where the experimentation would have to be. But a frequency generator would do it.
Well, they were not quite as primitive as we like to look in retrospect.
That is true, too.
However, I do have a little contribution here. I hope it's a contribution. And the chemomedical establishment has always opposed anybody who is not in it. If you were a doctor, you were in, and you could even come up with some pretty far-out things. The opposition, for instance, to a chemist who was Pasteur, to his work, was, by the medical establishment, was to the point of practically imprisoning him for having dared to do anything that might treat a human being. And this is the kind of... you've also had some skeptical telephone guests tonight who are the type of people who will, in general, form the most violent kind of opposition to any outside the establishment approach.
Well, we've had skeptical people, and there's nothing the matter with skeptics. I think that skepticism is a very healthy thing.
In fact, we would add that we ourselves are all skeptical. The three of us in the studio here are pursuing this from the standpoint that we want to learn, we want all the facts. I think that you have to approach it from that particular direction.
What I'm trying to suggest is the only way to obtain the money to do it is through a non-fractal approach. That is, you create a generator, use the frequencies known, and present this to some cancer patients as, hey, would you like to try this? And they will do the selling for you.
That is, unfortunately, that is illegal in the United States.
You're not if you're not charging them.
It doesn't make any difference.